The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, is struggling, but extortionists are planting themselves firmly at Nigerian airports. They are making international travels for many Nigerians a misery, and making visits to Nigeria by international investors a reason to regret. Their methods of operation are as varied as the opportunities they identify and the level of exposure the passengers they target have on international air travel. From telling Nigerians traveling out that charges for luggages are no longer paid in naira and offering to help any such ignorant passengers to make the payment in local currency, then reducing the weight of acceptable hand luggage, to outright open demand for payment before a passenger is allowed to board his or her flight. The network of extortionists has established a network of frustration that even brings returns to the extortionists from the most enlightened travelers. The network, which is creating a shameful international travel norm at our airports, involves immigration officials, airline staff, airport security staff, and even touts who now introduce passengers to members of the network in the name of rendering assistance. Now look at this photograph. This is the passport photograph of an Abuja International Airport security staff. At the airport, she goes by the code name Mercy, but that is not her real name. Her name is Augustina Ekwong, a staff of Pajeda ESA Securities, contracted by the Federal Airports Authority to provide security at the airport. A background check at the Corporate Affairs Commission shows that Pajeda ESC Security Services Limited was incorporated in Lagos, Nigeria on 27 April 2012 with the registration number 102986 and office address at 15 Adegbola Street, Anifowoshe, Ikeja, Lagos. It is incorporated as a private limited liability company to undertake security and investigation. The company's owners and key directors include Patrick Ejedawe, a retired Deputy Inspector General of Police, Ambadu John, a retired Chief Superintendent of Police, Adebayo Latif, Joy Ejedawe, and Eudalo Aikenomia, secretary of the company. The company claims that it is managed by some of the very best to have served and retired from the Nigeria Police and other arms of the security forces. It proceeds to claim that, and let me quote them, "Our uniformed security guards are courteous, well-trained, highly motivated, medically fit, and experienced, with verified background records of honesty, dedication to duty, resourcefulness, and unimpeachable integrity." But on Wednesday, 11 January 2023, at about 10:20 p.m. at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, a Nigerian, Joseph Mamel, was to catch an Air France flight to Paris. He had been cleared, checked in, and a seat allocated to him by the airline. He was to check in his luggage when a man referred to as the manager asked him if he had another passport. And this was after Joseph had presented his Nigerian passport. Joseph Mamel is an American citizen and so had an American passport, which he handed over to the manager. The manager directed him to proceed to the front desk for a sticker to be affixed on his passport. Joseph told us the rest of the story.
I arrived at the airport, I believe it was at, I think, 10:40 p.m. It was an hour, 30 minutes before my departure. And I walked up to get my boxes checked in, where I was told by a clerk or a staff behind the desk if I had another passport. And when I replied, yes, I did, they asked me which passport. I told them an American passport, and they requested for it. And they told me that I should go meet someone else in the first. They told me I should walk back to the first desk and get a sticker. And this was the first time I had ever experienced something like this. I just thought you show them you give them the passport, and they check in your body information, and then they check in your boxes. So I go with my brother to the desk I was told to go to, where they told me that I was already late to get my boxes checked in, which was, I told them that is a lie, that I already checked in online. Though all I needed to do was just drop my boxes off. I already have my seat. And then she goes to talk to a man, and the man comes out yelling, saying that there's nothing they can do for me, and that the plane is filled up with boxes. There's no space for my boxes. I have never seen anything like this happen. He also told me that there was no space for me. And when I told him that I already checked in online and I had my seat already in place, then he told me there was no space in the plane to put my boxes. So it was just one thing, they will tell you something else and keep on making up excuses. So I started begging and trying to know what was going on to see if I could get help from anybody. And every single time I would approach somebody, they will refer me back to the same person and just put me around in circles. And then the lady walks up to me and tells me that the only way that they could help me is if I give them $200. I was very, very surprised because of why is a lady asking me for $200 at the airport for me to travel after I've already finished paying for my ticket, and my every arrangement for the flight was already made. So I told her that I didn't have such an amount on me. And then she proceeded to tell me that, okay, if I can't give her $200, I should give her 200,000 naira. And that should help me get my boxes in. So I was very confused because they also told me that there was no space in the plane. So why are they now telling me that if I give them $200 or 200,000 naira, surprisingly and automatically there will be space in the plane for me and my brother to go through? So after being stranded, I kept on begging. They said nothing would happen if I don't give them the money. I finally gave the woman the amount she asked for. And then she goes to talk to the manager and everybody, and they let me put my boxes in. So after traveling, I felt so, I won't say annoyed. I just felt very disappointed that as a Nigerian, this is what is going on just for me to board a plane that I've already paid for. So after everything was done, I reported to the authorities who are currently working on getting justice served. And the group of people around the ticketing area they had sent to go get the stamp on their ticket all had something in common. They all had dual citizenship. They all had to be American citizens and Nigerian citizens. So I believe whenever they see the blue passport, you're automatically a target for them to extort. They all asked them for money. I know there was a man next to me on the line that I know he was arguing with them about why he had to pay an amount. And when he finally got into the plane, I asked him if they asked him for money just like me, because the lady would drag you to a corner and ask you. She won't want to say it openly. So he said yes, they asked him for money, but a different amount from what they asked me. So I believe every single person there, they were asked different amounts of money, but just it was the recurring thing. If you had an American passport, you'd be told to go to a different section and you'd be asked for money. But yes, that was what was going on. There were about 7 different people just from that time of me being there. I don't know if there are more, but I know there are 7 different people all arguing different excuses. There were some that they would tell them that they would have to reschedule their flights for no good reason, and tell them that if they still want to leave that same day, they would have to pay them some money. Some man was referred to as manager. He said, I think he was the Air France manager. He was a Nigerian man. He was, I believe every single person under that Air France, the check-in area were involved. That's my reasoning. Every single one of them I went to every single one of them, even told them openly that this lady right there is still asking me for money. And whenever I told them that, they would do as if they didn't hear me. I told them that, I've already checked in online, paid my money for my ticket. All I have to do is just get my boxes weighed in. And that is it. And they would all playing games, sending me from one place to another. And when I did give the woman the money, she went to her manager and some other man, the man who checked in my boxes, and they all took the envelope was passed between all of them. So that means they all knew about it. So this is just what goes on there. Every single person in the ticketing area under the Air France department were all among.
Now, the picture you looked at earlier, Augustine Ekwo or Augustina Ekwong, alias Mercy, was identified and she admitted to have extorted Joseph and has refunded the $200.
The attention of our aviation security was drawn into the matter, and they took it immediately, and they swung into action. They invited the young lady, who actually confessed to, asking for that money. And eventually the money was retrieved from her, and of course was in the custody of the aviation security. He sent the account, number. Certainly the money is, available.
But who is another Musa, who is the Air France manager, to whom this fake Mercy gave the $200 after she collected it from Joseph Mamel? Now, what of the 7 travelers who were similarly harassed, disgraced, and extorted?
The airport being the gateway to the country, makes it, a cause of concern, so that whenever we are in this situation, we ensure that the culprits don't go free at all. We continue, to ensure that whoever is caught is removed and will never come to the airport again.
As much as Joseph got reprieve and the airport authorities promptly addressed the shame, more has to be done to stamp out this culture of extortion, a lack of self-respect by some operatives and contractors like Pageda ESG. Joseph Mamel is only a whiff of a suffocating stench at Nigerian airports. The stench must be stopped.